Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to unbox and take a first look at Hunt for Blackbeard from Fort Circle Games. This is designed by Volko Ruhnke, and the game is for 2 players, ages 12 and up, and plays in around 30 to 45 minutes. This is available now. It carries an MSRP of $70. Having said all that, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Hunt for Blackbeard. Couple of things I want to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, the fine folks over at Fort Circle Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. It's always important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every item that's inside this box, each and every page of the rule book, but I do want to give you a really good feel about what you're going to find inside. All right, so let's get the shrink wrap off and dive on in. I have to say, I'm pretty interested to see this design by Volko Ruhnke because he is the creator of the Coin series as well as many other board games over at GMT Games. I'm not used to seeing him actually share designs with other companies, so kind of interesting. Let's take a peek at the back here. It's November 1718 in the young colony of North Carolina. Somewhere in its maze of sounds and anchorages camps the notorious Blackbeard. While he finds welcome in its towns, informants secretly report his whereabouts to nearby Virginia and the Royal Navy, who equip a small force to hunt him down. 2 sloops under Lieutenant Maynard surprise and killed a pirate in a ferocious battle. But how it ends today is up to you. Hunt for Blackbeard pits Navy against pirate in a fast-moving game of detection, deception, and confrontation. As Blackbeard, set your camp and commit acts of piracy or retire to a pirate's life. The hunters are coming. Do you evade or prepare defenses? As the hunters press your informants, arm your expedition, and hurry to the search. But be ready, as your quarry is apt to bite. This adventure is no make-believe. The colorful map board depicts the areas of North Carolina and Virginia where this real-life pirate hunt took place. The enclosed historical analysis and 44-inch infographic relate these true events to the game. Yes. Isn't Blackbeard's name Edward Treach? I seem to recall that's his name. We'll find out. All right, so I see we've got some blocks here, and it appears that the blocks are already marked. We don't have to put stickers on them. Well, how about that? Let's see what we've got in here. We've got a variety of different bags. Oh, look, candy. So we got black cubes, yellow cubes. So here we've got some light blue cubes that have, there's a Jolly Roger, looks like a pirate, also a barrel, looks like a sloop in a barrel. So we'll find out what those mean in just a few. Then we've got others that are marked with, looks like flying birds. Maybe these are like search markers that get flipped over. Some pawns, red and black. Looks like we've got some character tokens here. I'm going to take a guess. The blue are probably the Royal Navy, black pirates. Not sure what the gold may be. It's like we've got some ship tokens and a handful of 6-sided dice, black and red. All right. So here's our rules booklet. So this is the rules of the game, a how to play. Hey, how about that? That's cool. All right. So let's dig on into the rule book, talking about our setup, lay out the game board map, Blackbeard's mat, and the hunter's mat, and screens as shown below. I'm going to see this here. So we have the Jane, the Ranger, and Captain Brand pieces are located at the James River. It's just showing us how to set everything up. Hidden information. Hunt for Blackbeard uses stand-up blocks and screened mats to portray the hunter's search for Blackbeard. Blackbeard's mat tracks his piracy and defenses. The hunter's mat tracks their informants and assets. The Blackbeard player secretly sets the map with setup blocks that show the pirate's movements. The hunters play secretly or openly spots, inspects those map blocks. So there you go. Those are the blocks at the game start. Thought they probably had something to do with searching. So we've got sightings, sequence of play. Each turn, players draw tiles onto their mats. On turn one, Blackbeard sets camp. Hunters, after drawing, may use pawns behind their screen to interview informants who secretly spot map blocks, perhaps openly surveil those spaces. Blackbeard next may commit pawns to plan piracy, prepare defense tiles, and or sail, secretly setting the map with any changes. Hunters then use up their remaining pawns to commandeer asset tiles or scout, sail, and march with their pieces. The hunters openly spot where their pieces scout or end a move. Encounters then ensue if any hunter and pirate pieces end up in the same space. After any encounters, Blackbeard with pieces in the right place resolves piracy plans, placing cubes on piracy tiles that have pawns. Players end the turn and prepare for the next. Says tip, to speed up play, Blackbeard can plan upcoming moves as the hunters interview informants, and the hunters can do the same during Blackbeard's actions. So we get a breakdown of this sequence of play, setting camp, drawing tiles, Blackbeard's actions, the hunter's actions. And of course, as we can see, plenty of graphics, examples of play. Talking about our options here. Resolving piracy. Victory. A side wins the game by arresting Blackbeard, by winning a boarding, or after Blackbeard does or does not fulfill piracy. Arrest. If the hunters win an arrest at adventure or Blackbeard alone, the hunters immediately win the game. Boarding. If boarding occurs, the winner immediately wins the game, regardless of cubes on piracy tiles. And then we have piracy. At the end of turn 4, Blackbeard wins if at least one piracy row, acts of piracy or pirate's life, has cubes in at least half of the total number of squares in the tiles on that row. Black or gold does not matter. If not, the hunters win. So information about using tiles. There's an FAQ. The pirate's life, cashing in. Key terms. And then we get a how to play. How's about that? I like that. That's very nice, very convenient. So we get an introduction, talking about the setups. I wonder if we'll get some historical information, like maybe designer notes in this. Maybe not, seeing it says it's how to play, but all right. So again, we're not looking at each and every page here, but so I think in these areas we put tiles as far as the search. So it looks like we may have gotten, I think it looks like we get an example of play breakdown there too. Ah, teaching guide. Once you know how to play Hunt for Blackbeard, you'll want to introduce it to friends, like learning the game yourself. Teaching others can be a bit trickier than other board games because of all the hidden aspects. From experience, we have found that teaching in one of the following modes works best. Screens down. So you're not hiding anything. I would think that's probably a really good way. You also have screens up and a lesson plan and some strategy tips. Blackbeard's dilemmas. Your big choices of the pirates regard how much to risk or perhaps even seek an encounter with the hunters. The hunter's dilemmas. Challenge for you as the hunters is that you are in a hurry. 4 turns are going to go by fast. Cool. Here's our historical supplement. Nice. I say there's a lot in this box. Here's our designer notes too. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, it's Edward Thatch. I thought it was Treach. I don't know. Edward Thatch was Blackbeard. I thought there was a pirate whose last name was Treach. Maybe I'm just imagining things. All right, so learn a little history here. So we're going to get into, I think, our design notes at the end. Yep, there we go, our designer notes. Cool. Got more goodies in the box. A couple of player handouts with our sequence of play, Blackbeard's actions, Hunter's actions, encounters, and our map legend. We've got planning maps. So let's see. Hunt for Blackbeard. It's true events. There's a look at the board. That's just single sided. And then we have, oh, this is our like our infographic. Oh, that's cool. It's a timeline. Nice. That's cool. God forbid you learn something playing a board game, folks. No, I guarantee the people who are interested in Hunt for Blackbeard are those who enjoy learning about history. So we've got a punch board here with some tokens. We have our Blackbeard board, nice heavy cardstock to put that up there and to hide your plans. We got our hunter's board. There we go. Nice, nice cardstock there. Not talking about just some paper. And this is our game board here, and it looks like we actually put cubes. So the board's a little smaller than I thought it would be. That's why I thought, oh, is this where we put like our search tokens, those tiles? But no, looks like we're going to fill these with cubes, and it is cut. So those cubes will sit in there very nicely. They're not going to bounce all over the place if you bump the board. Okay, so this is the board for the hunters. This is the Blackbeard board. Then we've got a couple more punch boards with these various different tiles. So I think these are assets here. I think those are assets for the British. And I believe this is for Blackbeard trying to earn different like scores with booty and stuff like that. Got grape, chain shot. That's kind of cool. These might be assets as well that the British earn to arm their ships with. So these are the acts of piracy. Yep. Oh, these are informants. Prepared defenses. I'll say that would be the pirates then. Assets. Yeah, okay. So I was right. Those are assets. These are more pirates' life. So this is Blackbeard aiming to retire. And this is Blackbeard who just wants to continue his life as a pirate. Nice. Nice. Thick cardstock on these too. Really nicely done. I am going to be bringing this with me to Gen Con for Elliot and I to play because we've already been discussing what we might want to check out as far as playing games. We usually have our Twilight Struggle, our annual Twilight Struggle challenge. So we have that. But usually at Gen Con, I'm picking up review copies of RPGs. So it's not like I'm going to bust those out and play. So this looks very interesting. I am very intrigued. Plus, who doesn't like pirates? American pirates, too. How about that? All right. So we've got our 3 booklets. We've got all the punch boards, all our tokens, pawns, the search tiles, our 6-sided dice. We've also got our, well, I guess these are gold, not necessarily yellow, and black there. And that is what we find when we take everything from Hunt for Blackbeard outside the box. And I will hopefully have a review in a timely manner. All right. That is it for this time out. If you enjoy the Gaming Gang and would like to support the outlet, you can do so in a few ways. First, by utilizing our affiliate links to the One Bookshelf sites, such as Wargame Vault. And to do so, simply visit thegaminggang.com, click on one of our banner ads for any of the One Bookshelf sites. And then if you happen to make a purchase, I get a 5% commission on most sales. And all those commissions really do add up, help keep thegaminggang.com around. You can also make a one-time donation by way of PayPal and become a monthly member of our Patreon. You'll find links in the show notes. Also in those show notes, you're going to find an invite link to our Discord server. It's absolutely free to sign up, so be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. Of course, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. Because if you do, and if you select all notifications, you'll not only be informed when I share videos such as this first look, you'll also be informed when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are never going to see here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. Until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.